You are tuned in to What a Baltimore Online Radio. Please note that the views and opinions expressed are of the host and not of Lady J Media. Thank you and enjoy the show. Thank you for joining Mental Wellness Coaching with DWendell. Your session begins right now.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. What a wonderful, wonderful, marvelous day it is indeed. We had a few technical difficulties this morning, this afternoon, so we're a little bit behind in getting started. You know, you've all heard the expression or the term Murphy's Law. What Murphy's Law states is if something can go wrong, it will go wrong. So this morning, this afternoon, we are well equipped to meet the challenge. To meet the challenge, we're well equipped, and we're going to talk some more about these things as we go on. So again, I say welcome. Today is a marvelous day. It's simply a wonderful day. I know some of it may be raining where you are. It may be hot. It may be cloudy. It may be whatever. But it is not the weather that drives us. It is this hope that we have in us that drives us and moves us. This afternoon, um, I want to share with you a couple things. We're working with three words today. Three words today is the basis of our whole conversation together. The words are expectation, response, and acceptance. Expectation, response, and acceptance. Before we begin, my number is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, which is 240-626-6849. And my email, heartmindconnection at icloud.com. We are in the process, just a couple of logistical things here. We're in the process of setting up or establishing opportunities for me to meet, I individually to meet with individuals on a very private basis to have some conversation and to help you work through some of these challenges that you're faced with. Our conversation is about mental wellness. We don't look at it from the aspect of mental illness. With mental illness comes with mental illness diagnosis. There comes so many stigmas. You heard someone that's mentally ill, and we have our own personal thoughts about it. But we look at mental wellness. And now I want to say this in the beginning. Um, a dear friend of mine brought it to my attention. I do support, should you be, or should you find yourself on medication, I am not advocating for you to dump those pills down the toilet or in the backyard or any of that. Continue to take your medication. And as we progress, once you come into the program or become a part of the program, as we are progressing through that, then you will be able to make some better choices that depending on what you want to do. That's number one. Take your medication if you're on it. Should you not be on medication, then we take it from there. Secondly, I pray and hope that you are gaining some benefit from our time together weekly. That the benefits you're gaining uh, encourage you and empower you to a next step, which brings me to a request that should you be gaining benefit and you are of a mind to help us stay on the radio, stay on live stream, I would invite you to contribute to this process. Now, the Cash App address is dollar sign one heart one mind 522. That's again for you to lend your support to maintain this wonderful radio station, or to maintain our presence on this wonderful radio station, a live stream. We are in the process of building our website, uh, which is https:// heartmindconnection.wixsite.com/website. Those are a lot of words, and I will clear them up. We're building the website. We're building the website now. And again, I've been a psychotherapist for over 30 years. And I've taken on the role, a licensed clinical social worker, clinical, and I have taken on the role of a mental wellness coach. What does a coach do? A coach, a coach, or I as a coach, am focused on helping you develop your um, your mindset such that you are much stronger and you're much more able to deal with your own situations as they arise. And we will talk more about that. Let me share with you what we believe and we say. Uh, if you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought. I'll say it again. If you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would never have a negative thought. You would never think a never negative thought again. And that's very powerful. That's very powerful to know that with this program and my experience and my coaching, you can actually face every day with a high level of happiness, not euphoria, but a high level of happiness and functioning. Um, so let's begin a little bit. We had said that the words today were expected. The first word was expectation. Expectation, which is what do you expect from any given situation? We have learned, we for working definition, for purposes of this talk we're having today, the working definition we want to have for anger is unfulfilled expectation. Unfulfilled expectation. That is our working definition. What we learned is when you expect something from anyone, even our relationships. Look at this connection. Look at this connection, and let me know what you think. The connection, even in a relationship, we tend to expect something from the other partner in the relationship. Now, I didn't say a husband or wife, but even to that level, we have certain expectations of people. We have specific expectations of people we interact with. I have heard it said and read it that whenever we are generally in a conversation with anyone or interaction with anyone, we expect something out of that interaction. We expect something out of that interaction, whether it be some type of reward, whether it be some type of response. We expect something. When we don't get that something we expect, by our definition of anger, when we're not getting that particular thing that we expect, we become angry. We become angry. Now, what is anger? Anger, I've heard the definition that anger is a conduit to fear, to fear. And how do we explain that? The acronym, fear is an acronym. I like to use it as an acronym. Fear, false expectations appearing real. False expectations appearing real. What do we mean? When you expect something from someone, you when you don't get it, when you don't get that particular thing that you were expecting, um, there was this is an example. I went to a restaurant in Baltimore. I go to it's a vegan restaurant that I went to, and they had a particular item on the Revenant Vegan. They had a particular item on the menu, uh, which I particularly like, and there was one, the crab cake that for me, for my taste, it was a bit too salty, a bit too salty, so I didn't want that. But I wanted my favorite item, which was lasagna, vegan lasagna. Now, mind you, when I would order this food, I had to catch the MARC train back into DC and catch the train onto my destination of home. So with this particular day, when I got to the Penn Station, and I decided to tease my taste buds with a whiff of the food, expectations high. So I deliberately sit in a particular place in Penn Station, and I open my item. And when I open it, and my nose, my nostrils, all of my senses were aimed at this particular smell. When I opened it, lo and behold, it was crab, not crab, but vegan crab. The very item I did not like. I it was I was let down. I was hurt because I was gonna eat it on a train and enjoy myself and get to and I mean the routine was all laid out. So again I handled that. I had to take it back to the restaurant and then hold everything with that. So my question to you with regard to your expectation, what do you do when it doesn't turn out like you expected it to? We have said, so expectation, the first word is expectation. The second one is your response. Remember, we have said over and over, you cannot control the circumstances that come into your life. You cannot control the events that happen. Orders, the food orders do get mixed up. Or as far as parenting, children do let you down. they do let you down. You let them down too, but you do let them down. Or wives and husbands, you expect your wife or your husband to do a particular thing. You're counting on it. You're counting on it, and they don't. They don't. Um, and people, we included, have a litany of reasons and excuses that we don't do something that we may have promised to do. Litany of excuses, many. My dog died. Now, in the Bible, Jesus, there's an account given of Jesus asking group of people to follow him. And these particular people, one man said, well, uh, I just got new ox, so I need to go plow and test out my oxen. Somebody else, I just built a new barn or something, and I need to go shore that up. And my father, a loved one just died, and I need to go bury him. And Jesus said, wait a minute. Um, uh, when you are following me, you have to count the cost of following me. Now, understand what I'm saying. Because you are part of this human race, because you are part of this human race, this thing we call life, and it's even more than a thing. It's a wonderful gift. It's wonderful. This life is so fulfilling, or can be, and it's really all tied up into how you respond to the events that come up and come through your life. How do you respond? How do you respond? It's all. Thank you, Miss Butler, for your response. How do you respond? And let's go into that response for just a moment. When we respond in a way that says, I'm let down, I'm disappointed, I'm hurt, then we tend to project outside of ourselves that someone has control, that this person that didn't leave, they promised to pick you up. They promised. And when you got off work or got from where you were going, they were not there. So you respond in anger. You respond. I've known people who were married for years, and the wife would get upset with their husband, and she would not speak to him for 3, 4, 5 days at a time, or even longer. So all that stuff and she was a Christian. So all of this stuff that people hear and say, don't let the sun go down on your anger. The reality is, in the real response, the sun sets on the anger, rises on it, and sets again. So um, we tend to not we tend to put too much of our expectations in other people. We expect too much from them. And in reality, the question comes up, is it even possible for them to keep their own word to you? You know, people will say a lot of things, and I'm convinced sometimes people just talk just to hear themselves talk. I mean, just there's nothing else to do, but let's just talk. Let me make a bunch of promises because the promises I make to you sound good to me. And if I'm tickling my own ears and I make myself sound like a hero, then of course you will feel like I'm a hero. Now, when I let you down, here we go. Here we go. I tell people now, I tell people now, individuals come up with many excuses. You know, this didn't happen. The car didn't have enough gas in it. I ran into traffic. All of that. And I have learned to say, don't give me all of your excuses. It doesn't matter. You know, the dog died, and you don't even have a dog. The cat died, whatever. It doesn't matter. We cannot control the circumstances, which also says you cannot control what people do. We are, and this is almost an excuse, we are human. And what do we know about human beings? What do you know for sure about your fellow human beings? What do you know? What I know for sure is that Murphy's Law, if it can go wrong, it will go wrong. I know for sure people will let you down. They will. And when they let you down, and it doesn't have to be anything picking you up, it doesn't have to be anything material. What about when a man and a woman or a couple stand before God at an altar or in whatever situation, and I will love, honor, and cherish you for the rest of my life. And as soon as someone gets ill or broke or unemployed, it becomes a challenge. I'm not saying you can't fix that. You can't because you are human. And the fact that you want to beat somebody up or make somebody fall into line, it's not humanly possible. It is not possible. And we'll get more into that in a second with the final word for today, which is acceptance. People will let you down emotionally. You know, I've seen people just especially at holidays or birthday time or whatever, and you're expecting someone to come with a nice gift, very nice gift. And when they come, you open that thing, the packaging, and you find out the packaging was false advertising. False advertisement. This big old box and this nice box said that there was something inside that I wanted. And when I opened it, it was not. It was a disappointment. Then you got to force yourself to smile and whatever. Don't put too much stock in other human beings. I ask you every week, where is your source of strength? Where does your strength come from? Where does your encouragement come from? Where's the backbone of the promise of a fulfillment? Because human beings are going to let you down. So, with that being said, we come to the third word for today, which is acceptance. Acceptance. I've been told that in the 12-step AA program, there are three steps that they deal with, which comes out to has honesty, acceptance, and surrender. Uh, when you surrender. Now understand, and we want to unpack this a little bit. Surrender is not the same as giving up. In her book, Kalia Johnson um, um, has a chapter, and her book is one of her books. One of her books is Broken into Purpose, and one of her chapters is Surrender is not giving up. Giving up is saying, I'm beat down, I'm wore out, I can't take another step, I can't take this foolishness anymore. That's when you see people packing up, ending relationships because it's too painful. This relationship is too painful for me. It is too costly for me. I keep expecting you to do X, Y, and Z, and you don't. You say you love me, and this is not what love looks like. You say you care for me. This is not what caring looks like. And I can't take it anymore. So I'm just giving up. Giving up. And whenever we give up, we walk away with anger and frustration. And whenever we walk away with that in our briefcase, that anger and that frustration, remember, we have learned, we have learned to live in one of three places. You can only live in one of three places in this entire life. One is in the past. The past deals with depression. Everything you look like back in the past is depression. Um, and so what you see back is what you look back at is so many unfulfilled expectations. And we're going to get into some sensitive areas here to a degree. You look back and you see somebody took advantage of you. Somebody violated the relationship that you had, and they violated a trust. They may have hurt you. They may have abused you. And you realize that with somebody you trusted. So when you look back on that and you become more and more angry and more depressed, and you can point to it's because he did that, because she did that. Um, uh, History books, your history book, your history book, your history is replete with people who've let you down to one degree or another. I've talked to people and they've said my childhood was wonderful. Absolutely. Part of what we do, stay with me, part of what we do when we take when we take what is called a psychosocial history, and part of that is we look at your life because there are key points in your life that are very significant, very significant. Um, when you what you who was the disciplinarian in your house? How did they discipline you? What was it like going to the first day of school? When do you remember? Key question. When do you remember that you were alive? When do you remember that you were alive? That this was life? Some people, psychologists, say that people can remember back to around the age of 3, or actually the things that we remember are often around significant life events. The first day you went to school. I remember just sharing a little bit. My first day of school, I had over the years. I was like 6, um, and when we were growing up, this there was a dog on my street in Spadina Avenue in Chesapeake. It was South Norfolk at the time. Anyway, there was a dog on my street. It was a chow. And that dog had a purple tongue, and we would ride our bikes by that house, and this dog would come out and just chase. Man, I never pedaled his back so fast. I remember the dog. He never bit me, but I developed a fear. So my first day at school, uh, somebody brought a dog to school. I think it was a German Shepherd. They brought this dog to, this is my first day of school, first grade. They brought this dog to school, and the dog seemed to have gotten off of the leash or whatever, and the dog was running toward me, and I turned around to run from the dog and ran right into a pole. I ran right into a pole, and I had this big knot on my head. I ran into the pole, but I remember it. So again, a lot of our life events, our history, is around life events. So the question, when do you remember when you were first alive? And some people say, I remember I was in my grandmother's or my mother's or father's backyard, and we would swing on a swing, and life was just wonderful. Other people have bad memories of growing up, certain things that would happen. So again, we do psychosocial histories, and these things come up. Um, what about when you got your driver's license? You remember? And different things like that. Anyway, the so we a lot of people we spend time in the past, and it can cause some form of depression because you remember the past so clearly, and now you look at now. You look at your life and you wonder how in the world did I get here? How did I get here? What series of choices did I make to get here? That's the past. We also spend a lot of time in the future. Spend a lot of time in the future. Oh, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? How am I going to do that? And that causes anxiety. When you look at if you're dealing with anxiety, a lot of it deals with you're borrowing trouble and pain and worryation from tomorrow or the next day. And then the third alternative is to live now in the present. Don't worry about what's going to happen tomorrow. Don't concern yourself about what happened yesterday. Focus on today. What is my task for today? The Bible says in the book of Lamentations, I think it's around chapter 28, 29. The book says, um, when I look at myself and I begin to be depressed, I want to hang my head down, but I'm reminded that God's mercies are new for me every day. Every day there's a new mercy, there's a new gift, there's a new unfolding for me, specifically for me. Sometimes, and I use myself as an example. One of the things I've always wished I could do, I wished I could sing. Oh, have mercy on all that's within me. Give me strength. I wish I could sing. And I would bellow out. I could see myself as all of them. Teddy Pendergrass, or back in the day when Smokey Robinson, when light skin and curly hair. Anyway, um, but I didn't get that gift. And you know what people tend to think, what we tend to think is that because I can't sing, then the gift that I do have is not as relevant or as strong as someone that can sing. Come on. That's part of the self-talk that we do. You can talk yourself into and out of everything. You got to stop listening to yourself. Stop listening to yourself. Remember we said you have to be sure of where your strength is. Where is your support coming from? not just words. I'm telling you, people say words, and like I said earlier, sometimes people talk just to hear themselves talk, like they don't have anything else to do. I think they talk just to make themselves feel good or look good and expect you to count on what they say. You're not that. You're stronger than that. You're smarter than that. Because you can't control those events that happen in your life, and you can't control the people who come into your life. You have to realize, let's use this example. I say, so and so, I'm coming to pick you up from work today when you get off. You don't have a car. And you say, Donnie, Wendell, I'm counting on you to pick me up at 3 o'clock. Well, I call you at 3:55, 2:55. Say, man, lady, the car didn't have enough gas in it. I can't get there to try reality, whatever. And so right there at that point, you have to make a decision about what you're going to do with this particular event that just came up in your life. You're going to be angry. You're going to cuss me out. That's what a lot of us do. We will, what we say, I give him a piece of my mind. Keep giving away pieces of your mind. You'll find out one day you don't have any left. Or do you turn to your source of strength? Because, because, again, another Bible text that says all things work together for the good. Oh, how many is all? How much is all? So no matter what happens, no matter what flies or comes into your life, it's under control. Don't you allow yourself to get out of control in responding to something that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. Which brings us again, the AA model says surrender. My mantra is acceptance. Accept it because you cannot allow events to disturb your peace. Understand what you think of your thoughts. Those things occupy mental real estate. Mental real estate. So it's taking up space. So this thing that you're angry about, this thing that has disturbed your peace, this thing that's taking you out of your element, is keeping you from the present. What's going on presently? I have learned, and you can count on this, you can take this expression for what you want. Um, what you see happening in your life, the events you see happening, good or bad, the circumstances that come up in your life, the way you feel about something, your feelings or what you think has nothing to do with what's going on in that situation. It has nothing to do with it because that situation may be teaching you something that prepares you for the next life event. Just period. So you have to trust your source of power. You have to surrender. Make a conscious decision. I am not going to allow this thing to take me out of my element. I will not allow this thing to disturb my peace. I will not allow this thing or this person who didn't pick you up, This DWendell who promised to pick you up from work, and now it's pouring down, raining, it's snowing, and you don't have another ride home. So you're gonna spend your time angry. I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna get him. I'm not gonna speak. I'm gonna withhold. That's a big one. I'm gonna withhold my love from him. I'm gonna withhold my conversation. I'm gonna, in essence, withhold myself. So that's pretty much us for today. Again, the three words: expectation. What do you expect? Don't put too much stock in other people. Don't put too much stock in other people because people are human. People will let you down. That's the nature of the beast. That's the road we're traveling on. That's this life. So your expectation is that your strength, your God, your your source is responsible for getting you to where you need to be emotionally, mentally. It's not in another human being. Recognize that because human beings will let you down. I don't mean to let you down, but I do. I've been let down. And the cycle goes on. So change your expectation. Secondly, your response. Curtis Mayfield. Curtis Mayfield, I know I'm dating myself. Curtis Mayfield had a song years back, and the song was Check Out Your Mind. Check out your mind. Check out what you're thinking about. Check out how you're responding to what this person did or didn't do. How angry you get. And when you get angry and upset or depressed, your body, your physical body pays a price for all of that. Cancer, stress, hair falling all out. I mean, hair falling out, arthritis. All of these bodily illnesses are directly attributable to our responses to life events and people. Don't give people that much control over your life. Now, do you get disappointments? Oh, heck yeah. Oh, absolutely. People let you down all the time. But don't hang your head about it. Don't give that thought all this mental power in real estate. And lastly, acceptance, surrender. This is what it is, and I give this to my power source. I give this to God. I give this to I give this. One of the things when I was growing up, and we were running out of time. One of the things when I was growing up was I would go and talk to my mother. I would talk to my mother, and being with my mother, there was a comfort and a peace. My mother never judged me. I know she had her thoughts. She never judged me. She never downed me. She gave words. Your power source has to be indeed your source of power, your source of peace. Surrender it. Oh, I don't like the way she treated me. So, and I'm feeling some kind of way because, one of the things when we were kids, and you remember, people used to stick their tongues out at each other. Like they was going to do something. People just stick their tongues out at each other. I realized my father told me one day, he said, Donnie, when you sit in class and somebody's picking on you, why do you keep looking at them? They sticking their tongue out, and it's almost an automatic response. Surrender those things and trust your power. Trust your trust your guide. Trust your God. Trust Him to lead you to a place of peace. We are we're dealing with mental wellness. And the strength of what we coach about and teach about is to help you control your thoughts before they become issues. Control your thoughts before it gets into your brain and your body starts responding and reacting. And you get arthritis, you get bent over, you get angry, you get frustrated, and you want to hurt somebody. Stop it before it gets to that. This is DWendell. Thank you for listening to the show. And again, if you are of a mindset to to support us on this program, it is $one heart, one mind, 522. That is $one heart, one mind, 522. Thank you for your time. And until next time, next Wednesday, I wish you strong mental wellness. Have a good one, guys. Remember, if you knew, if you realize how powerful your thoughts are, you would never think a negative thought again. Have a good one, guys. Until next time. Thank you.